No.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Zero Interest. This time doing Konosuba Season 2, Episode 2. And this episode is called A Friend for This Crimson Demon Girl. So, go along.
Okay. Like, I don't put the titles in the episodes, but whatever.
I should name the episode, though, because it might be relevant.
Alright. So, yeah, this episode starts with everyone being cold again. Because all of their stuff has been stolen, I guess.
Yeah, all their stuff has been taken out. They're living in an empty house right now.
Yeah, but that's not that cold. I guess Aqua kind of got spoiled after moving out of the barn.
Yeah, and they don't have insulation, I don't think.
It's still a house. It's still
It's
sealed.
it's still not as cold, but it's still like it's not like it's 70 degrees in there, you know.
No, but So Cosmo is not worried about the cold. He is worried about whatever's happening to Darkness, which he assumes is probably rape. I guess is what they're going for.
She's been gone for like the whole night, and he's worried she didn't come back. And then, like, he starts freaking out, and then Aqua realizes it, and then she starts freaking out.
Yeah. They're not going to go there. I don't need to explain why I know that they're not going to go there. It's still a comedy show. That's way too fucking dark for them to actually go there. So they're not going to go there.
They're not going to go there. I'll tell you right now, they're not going to go there.
Yeah. So, but they're freaking out about it. And then Megumin comes in, and she has a kitty. She has a kitty! There's a kitty in the show.
So this character is Tomsuke, or Chimusuke, and Chimusuke was supposed to be one of the reasons why I think season 1 is a bad adaptation is because Megumin was supposed to be introduced with this character.
Kitty.
She was supposed to have the cat the entire time, and it's only now being introduced.
Kitty.
And this kitty is kind of part of the best gags in the entire show.
Kitty. Also, it's a kitty.
So she's like, yeah, I found this cat, which she should have had from the very beginning, but I found this cat, and like, oh, that's cute, but also, like, aren't you worried about Darkness? It's just like, why? I don't see why I would be worried about Darkness. She can deal with him, and she'll be back later. Like, but it's Darkness. You know how she is. And then she starts to freak out, and Cosmo does an impersonation. So, yeah.
Kitty.
Take it, Casey.
Kitty.
You done freaking out about the kitty, so you can
There's a
take back
kitty.
the summary? I know. It's a good kitty. She's a good kitty.
So Glasses shows up. I think they said her name was Sarah or something. I might be wrong. I don't know. They mentioned it briefly in like other stuff happening. I think it was Sarah.
You know what? I'm gonna look up her name.
Okay.
Because it's Sena was her name. Yeah.
Okay.
She's the royal prosecutor.
So, surprisingly for the royal prosecutors, she just kind of shows up and gives them a mission to kill more frogs. The frogs are back, and way more entertaining this time.
Megumin's explosions woke up the frogs, so she's having them clean up their mess while observing them to see what they're really like.
And yeah, Megumin, by the time we join the scene, has already used her explosion and is half in, half out of a frog.
She's like, no, wait, I'm fine, I'm warm.
Yeah, it's actually kind of warm in here, and I'm comfy, so, go help Aqua, who's,
she has her staff using as, like, a footstool.
Yeah. Aqua's doing headless chicken routine again.
Cosmo learned a new skill called Snipe.
Yeah.
Remember when we lost an episode in season 1? And that episode,
I remember when we lost 2, but one of them, sure.
Yeah. In one of those episodes that we lost, he learned Snipe. Because that was a skill from the other team he worked with. But here it's just kind of introduced of, I got this off screen, kind of, is how they're reincorporating it.
Yeah.
And the way it works is higher your luck stat, the higher your accuracy. And he has, like, max luck stat.
Which doesn't speak very well of people that learn archery, but well, whatever.
It's
it's
a
a game
long
system
range.
thing.
Yeah, it's a long range type skill thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So, yeah, he shoots an arrow at the frog, and it almost hits Aqua, but instead hits the frog in the face, and the frog doesn't care.
Goes to the hoop in her hair.
Hmm.
She has that crying face and it hits the frog right in the face.
And it doesn't care. And then the frog eats Aqua, same way, legs dangling in the air, as it does. And Cosmo panics and just does the routine, frog killing routine. And then
season 1 show.
Yeah. There are more frogs. There are 3 more frogs that come bounding along, and there is still the one that Megumin is, being eaten by, and it's, she's actually being swallowed at this point. It's like, hey, so if you could come out.
and Cosmo's like, there's not enough bait for these frogs. And so they all start running, and Santa gets grabbed first by the frog tongue, and then
Aqua does. And was this the point where what's her name shows up? I think that's the point where what's her name.
They do that little burst out of the frog routine where Aqua's like all like disgusting and a mess, and Santa's like the exact opposite, and it goes back and forth like with their like squeals, and it's kind of a fun gag. And then another character appears doing.
Oh God! Right, yeah, that was really weird and kind of oddly sexualized, and.
But it was meant for comedy more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because it kept going back and forth.
Yeah.
And then, new character appears, uses the lightning saber type skill or whatever, and kills all the frogs in an instant.
So, yeah, new character. Hey, new character. I'm going to adjust my camera because it's way too fucking high up. There we go. Yeah. All right, so. New character shows up. She has red eyes. Guess who she is? Megumin immediately recognizes her as a Crimson Demon for obvious reasons, but they're like, hey, hi, Megumin, you remember me? And Megumin's like, I don't know you. Is this one of those...
it's me scams?
Yeah.
And she's like, no. I think specifically, Megumin says, I don't know this person who didn't even give their name first.
Yeah.
And so
very embarrassedly, she gives her Crimson Demon spiel about, hi, I'm Union, I'm super great and awesome and power and
I'm the rival and I'm the next in line to be the leader of the Crimson Demon clan.
Yeah, and then Megumin immediately turns to Cosmo and goes, so yeah, this is Union. Yeah, that's who she is. And she is the only Crimson Demon who is embarrassed about her name.
Yeah, because all the other Crimson Demons are basically Megumin.
Yeah, so that whole routine was basically just to take the piss out of this girl. Fair play.
Yeah.
Then Union challenges Megumin to a duel or something. A magic duel.
Yeah.
Because they're rivals, quote unquote.
Megumin's like, no, it's cold.
It's cold and I'm out of mana anyway, so I can't do anything. So, hey, let's have a duel in the martial arts that our people taught and stuff.
Let's do the martial arts that you're so proud of. And meanwhile, Santa is like, I'm going to go leave. And Aqua's like, I'm going to go tell the guild, where the frogs are so they can kind of go lug this back into town.
Yep.
And they leave him. And Union's like, wow, that's pretty impressive considering you skipped out on all those martial arts classes. And then during lunch, you would steal my lunch. You challenge me to a duel and take my lunch. And Cosmos is staring at her. Like...
Yeah, so they start doing not martial art kind of wushu style movements.
Well, Megumin's going like...
Yeah, as though they're actually about to do something. And Union goes, you're kind of shiny, what's the deal?
the sun comes out from the clouds and she
Mm.
starts shining, and she's
Mm.
like, it's like I'm still covered in that frog stomach juice.
Yeah. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to run up to you and I'm going to put you into a submission hold.
She's like, no, no, no. You're trying to break my resolve, aren't you? And Megan's like, we're friends,
Yes,
right?
we're friends.
We should
You
share in each other's suffering.
Yeah, give me a hug. Yeah.
And then proceeds to chase her around
Hmm.
before finally catching her and jumping onto her.
Hmm.
And I win.
Yeah. So, if I had to complain about something in this episode, which this is what I do, it just kind of jumps around a lot. There's not much of a through line plot in it. Like, I'm having trouble remembering a lot of the events in this episode because it's just kind of a sequence of events that are somewhat loosely connected. But
It's it's a Megaman focused episode, and introduces kind of a character you need to know to understand Megaman, which is Union. Because Union is essentially the quote unquote ideal Crimson Demon, except for her personality. And
so
he's kind of the inverse of Megaman.
I think what happens next is they go back to the house and Megaman glumps Cosmo for
Well,
some.
they're heading back to town, and then he's like, Mega Man has her spoils of war that she won from Union, which is like a magic orb or something.
Hmm.
And she's like, you can sell this. And he's like, okay. And, he's thinking, oh man, she's just smells awful. And she's like, I don't know, she said something to him, and he's like, I was just thinking that you're so much prettier than the other girl. And then
That was a really weird, out of nowhere comment.
yeah, it does, like, the internal thoughts aren't quite there, because again, this is a light novel, so you would have his internal thoughts for context for that.
Yeah.
But that's basically he's not thinking great things about her because she smells awful, and she turns around, and that kind of happens, and she clomps him, and then he's like, no. And then they head back to the house, and they're like, we need to take a bath, and they begin to fight over who gets to take the bath.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's on the one hand, this whole sequence of events that's coming up is kind of funny, but on the other hand, but so they're fighting over who gets to take a bath first, and Cosmo is doing his "I'm for equality" routine of "ladies first" is bullshit, and starts immediately stripping down. So she has no choice. She either has to back off or just kind of double down on the whole thing. So she doubles down on the whole thing and starts stripping as well. And she thinks that's going to that she's reversed it on him, but he gives no fucks.
He's already like got a towel wrapped around his waist.
Yep.
He's like, all right, well, fine then. We'll both go in together. And she's like, what? No. It's like, oh, you're giving up now, huh? And then it's like, of course I'm not giving up. And then cut to like, she's trying to take off his towel. They're fighting, and then you get cut to they're in the bath together, and they're both like got towels on and everything. But like they're both sitting there, and he's like, just kind of casually talking of like, so yeah, you know that girl, right? And she's like, yeah. And it's just kind of like, it's a weirdly chill scene. It's like, I thought cats hating baths. Cats hate baths, and you have Chomsky's taking a bath and enjoy it.
It is kind of a. We completely missed something that was. Oh no, we haven't. It's not come up yet. Yeah, it's weirdly casual, but also kind of has an undercurrent of awkwardness to it. Like, they're just kind of so here's this thing that we can talk about, I guess, while we're here in the bath together.
Cosmo hasn't really realize what just happened, and he's like, "Wait, why are we in the bath together again?" And yeah, and they're like, "Oh, he's talking about how like." You get lots of Megaman saying, "I'm not a child," and getting mad at him because he treats her like a child. And she's like, "I'm only 3 years younger than you," she said earlier. And then it's like, well, as long as nobody... And then you hear Aqua in the distance.
Yep. And then he immediately panics. Did you lock the door? Did you lock the door? I can't let her find out about this, or she's going to give me even worse of a nickname that I can't... No, not going to happen. So
she's going to call me like a lolly neat or like a lolicon. It's like, no.
Yeah, so he dives out of the bath, charges through the bathroom door into the antechamber, I want to call it. The changing room, I guess. And just freezes the door solid.
He could have locked the door, but he chooses to freeze it because he's freaking out.
Yep, and drains all of his magic doing so to the point where he just collapses Mega Man style.
Yeah. And then Aqua's like, "Oh well, I guess they're in there," and walks away. He's like, "I'm doomed. I almost got called a lolicon," and to which
Mega Man immediately looks at him and goes, "What makes you think they would call you a lolicon? Why would they call you a lolicon for being in the bath with me?" Which... Japan's weird.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, 13's like right on the threshold for them between okay and not okay in certain parts of Japan. Other parts, it's definitely not okay. It's really not okay anywhere here in the Western world, like nowhere. So this doesn't play quite as well as it might in...
Megaman sees herself as an adult specifically, so that's kind of the thing.
Yeah, but it still doesn't play very well over here.
It doesn't. No, you're right.
It's kind of squicky, but whatever. So next scene, like, Aqua is immediately calling him P don't eat. So
he starts. It's like, "No, Aqua, help me! The little girl is bullying me." But then we get back to the next day, where they're heading over
to the magic shop, I think.
And they go to the magic shop because they're gonna like see what they can do about their debt with Wiz.
And they have the kitty.
And they have the kitty with them.
Yeah.
And this is where Casey lost some focus, I would say. So Union's there, and she's like, I just showed up because I want to buy some magic items. And Wiz is like, she's been waiting here all morning for you guys.
Because she heard that you come here regularly. So, another duel challenge, and they're just sort of yammering at each other, and I have no idea what they're talking about, because in the background, Wiz has the kitty, and it's basically batting her tits back and forth.
And this is happening the entire
For
scene.
the entire scene. I mean...
So basically...
Kitty is the best character in the show and basically represents me, because I feel like I would end up doing the same thing. If I had the chance, just...
So, we get into... Union is, she's very polite. She didn't want to show up at their house unannounced. And, Megaman's like, oh yeah, Union had no friends. She's just challenging me because she has no friends. She has nothing else to do.
I have no idea what Zero's talking about anymore.
Yeah.
Because
I
wasn't basically not there for this entire conversation.
And Megaman's like, I only use explosion magic, whereas she uses all the other magic. And, like, I can't technically duel her in most ways. And Union's like, but you should have some unused skill points, right? She's like, I put them all into explosion magic power. So that's the end of that.
Well,
But
I
then
think she says she's saving them up for explosion power increase or something
it's
like that.
explosion power increase and high speed casting is what she wants.
Yeah.
The power to do more explosions quicker and bigger explosions. Then Aqua points this thing out off to the side called the Friendship Crystal. And Wiz is like, oh yeah, only high level casters can use that. And
So
people who
they're
are
immediately like, okay, let's challenge each other over this, and it'll prove who is the better caster.
and Union's excited because it's like, can it really help you make friends? Yeah, she's a very lonely character.
So they basically beam struggle over the orb kind of thing. They're like a good 10
And
seconds.
they open up all these different screens around them, and these screens show a bunch of scenes
of
from
their
their
childhoods,
past.
yeah. So we have a lot of scenes of Union being alone and kind of miserable, and everything rejecting her, including plants.
Lance gets up and runs away.
Yeah. And we have scenes of Megumin seemingly just scavenging for food.
She's stealing bread crusts. She's going out and she's finding food, and she has her little sister that's like, yeah, hey Chan, you're awesome. And she's like, yeah. And she's running around and just kind of eating even like cicadas or whatever the...
Cicadas?
those loud making... Gosh, I can't remember what they're called. The...
Cicadas?
Like insects. Cicadas, yeah. That's how you pronounce it. And she's just eating everything, and like you have one scene where she's like, I'd take even a demon for a friend, and she has a giant magical circle, and you're like, wow. And then those two proceed to freak out, and Megaman breaks the orb.
Yeah. And Wiz explains, yeah, it's an orb that helps you make friends because it shows all your embarrassing moments that you're ashamed of, so you have nothing to hide from each other anymore.
Also kind of protecting each other's embarrassing secrets, I guess, type of thing. But they're like, oh no, that's not good. And Union's like, so are we friends now, Megaman? She's like, no.
Yeah, and Union goes, why don't we compete over who grew the most like we used to? And Megaman's like, I don't really consider that, like, physically growing isn't really important to me anymore.
Yeah, I'm much more mature. I'm too mature for these childish games now.
Yeah.
Because
me and him are in a relationship where we get into the bath together.
And he's like, and Cosmo's like, no, that's not what happened. And he said,
why are you trying to destroy my reputation more?
And Union gets embarrassed and flustered and runs out screaming.
And Megaman pulls out a book and takes off another win.
I win again. This is like just a fun character-focused episode.
It's basically just, like I say, it's a sequence of events that are kind of loosely connected and have a kind of a theme to them a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's not really a big things happen in this episode kind of episode. It's just a lot of fun, laid back time.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
The most plot progression is we get a short scene of Darkness being like, no, and we see silhouettes.
My call for it is they're putting her in a dress.
Boy, what would make you think that? The silhouette of the dress?
I didn't see a silhouette of the dress. I saw the armor taken off and two seeming servants just sort of holding her in place. So, yeah.
Yeah. But, it's kind of, like, the thing that Season 1 struggled with a lot was we didn't get much on the characters.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a very character-centric comedy. and this was a nice episode, like character stuff for Mega Man.
I mean, oddly enough, Mega Man was probably the one we got the most character stuff for, probably, with the possible exception of Aqua, which. But yeah, I'm not going to complain about more character stuff for Mega Man because she is the best character in the show, without question. But yeah, okay.
It was fun. It wasn't trying to be something other than what it is, I guess. And like it's moments like this where I think the show's kind of at its best. Is when you can have a lot of character interactions that play off each other well.
I mean, I would like having that in an episode where things happen, but you know, I'm not going to ask for the world and the moon as well. Yet.
Like,
I don't think the show has quite proved itself enough where I would expect that, but I'd appreciate it.
Like, there's just this episode and the next are more character focused, and then we get back to the main plot. Is kind of how it is for this arc, which I'm fine with.
This was a good episode.
All right.
We haven't done the rating thing for a while. I'm still at about a 7 though, so it hasn't changed.
All right. At least it's in Fallen.
That's true.
So that was Konosuba, Season 2, Episode 2. And this has been Zero Interest. We will see you guys next time, where we go and do Episode 3.
In hindsight, that number scale was a really great idea, because it's gone from 0 interest to maybe a 7. Huh?
That's it.
Buddy.
Bye.